my name is Chris Yee, and I'm making a 3D puzzle platformer called Nectar. I've been working on this game for about 6 months now, and this devlog is going to show you my journey from this to this. In the game, you play as a potted sunflower and his bumblebee companion, using globs of nectar to grow plants and manipulate the world. The title Nectar is just a working title. We'll see if I end up keeping it, but for now I just wanted something to call it, and I may change it, I might keep it. I kind of like it, so we'll see if it sticks, or if I think of something else that is better, I might change it. This first devlog will be more of a general overview of the game and kind of my inspirations and everything that inspired me to make this game and why I decided to make a game in the first place. If you want to see a more technical side of things, I also made 4 other videos covering different topics about my game and the progress that I've made in the last 6 months. Things like the character, the controller, the camera, the environment, the art style, the game mechanics, and the sound design so far. If you are interested in that stuff, check out those other videos. But in this one, I'm going to just give you a little overview of my background. So how and why did I decide to make a game in the first place? I grew up playing video games, and I always loved puzzle games. Games like Portal, Portal 2, Braid. I like platformers like Inside and Journey. Those are my main inspirations for this game. And up until this point, I always thought that making games was out of my technical wheelhouse. The thought of reading through lines and lines of code was incredibly daunting to me. I've had many other hobbies in the past. At one point I had a Let's Play YouTube channel, I played video games with one of my buddies. I've written and self-published a few sci-fi books. I had a podcast where we talked about goofy hypothetical situations. And I've played around with Blender, even making a few wonky looking animated shorts. And with Blender actually has its own game engine, and I did try playing around with that, but I bounced off of it pretty quickly. It was hard for me to learn, and that kind of solidified my idea that I would never be able to make a video game. But there are a few things that finally flipped the switch in my head. The first thing was attending PAX East this year. The focus on all the smaller games on the floor was very, very inspiring to me. The second thing was watching the Psychonauts 2 documentary by Two Player Productions. If you haven't seen it already, I highly recommend it. They have other documentaries as well, and those are all great. But the Psychonauts 2 one had a significant impact on me. It's a fascinating behind-the-scenes look at everything the Double Fine studio faced during the development of Psychonauts 2. And although they went through a lot of highs and a lot of lows, they showed a lot of the team struggling throughout the process. But just being able to see the process from the beginning all the way to when they shipped the game at the end was just incredible for me to watch. And at that point, I started to think, maybe I can do this. I've seen the steps, maybe I can. And then the third and final thing that solidified it for me was seeing a showcase of Unreal Engine. I saw a video showing off their visual scripting, and like I said before, I'm not a coder. The idea of reading through lines of code does not appeal to me, but the visual scripting in Unreal Engine is something my brain can process a lot easier, which is why I ultimately ended up going with Unreal Engine for this game. I know Unity and Godot, the other two big game engines, also have their own versions of visual scripting, but the blueprint system in Unreal Engine really does seem to be their focus. And in things like Unity, if I'm looking up tutorials, most people just code in C#. It would be a lot harder for me to learn. Whereas in Unreal, if I look up a tutorial, people are doing it in Blueprint, and it's a lot easier. So that's when I decided that I was going to learn Unreal Engine. And I learned through plenty of YouTube tutorials to start out. Some standouts are Prismatica Dev, Matthew Wadstein, and Matt Asplund. And after 6 months of working on the game, I've gotten to the point where I don't really need the tutorials to do most things anymore. Every once in a while I'll run into a roadblock and I will have to pull another one up, but I've definitely improved over this time. I also started watching a lot of devlogs myself. Seeing other indie and solo developers working on their games is so inspiring to me, and watching their process sometimes sparks ideas in my head for my game. Which inevitably brings me to this game, Farewell North. I know what you're thinking. This looks very similar to the core mechanic in Nectar. There's an orb thing around the character that lights up the world, reveals colors, that kind of thing. It looks very similar. And I had the same thought when I first stumbled across a devlog for Farewell North. I was about 4 months into development at that point, and I actually considered whether I should scrap all my work or not. The last thing I want to do is copy or steal someone else's idea. And ironically, Farewell North happened to be at PAX East that year, the year that I went. I don't remember seeing the game on the floor, but maybe somehow they subconsciously worked their way into my brain. Anyway, I thought about it a lot. I looked at more devlogs of Farewell North. Ultimately, I decided that my game is different enough from Farewell North. Nectar is going to be more of a puzzle-focused game, where Farewell North seems like a more introspective experience. I'm actually very much looking forward to playing Farewell North. It looks like a game that I'll be into. And that was sort of the start of how I got into developing this game. So like I said, over the next few videos I'm going to show the progress that I've made over these 6 months. I'll pick a topic and that'll be the focus of that video. But as a general overview, here's some early footage of the game. And here's the most recent footage of the game. And as you can tell, I've made a decent amount of progress. There are no levels yet. I'm still focusing on developing the tool set that I can use to make levels. So all the pieces of the puzzles that I'll eventually build. But I'm moving along, and I don't know how often I'm going to come out with these videos. I currently work as a full-time engineer, so 40 hours a week, sometimes more, of my normal job. And then I'm just squeezing in development time here and there in my free time. So I don't want to release a devlog unless I've made substantial progress. So we'll see. I'm not going to set any schedules right now. They'll come out when they come out. But again, if you want to see more specific details about the development of this game, check out some of those other videos that I've made. They should be out right now. And if you want to see where this game goes in the future, subscribe for future videos. I also have a Steam page, so you can go there and wishlist the game. That really helps me out. And if you want to be part of the community, I have a Discord server. Thank you.